Hey YouTube, My Darkness 85 here. What's up? Here's another episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Timelord discussion. This is the second part of the video. Now I'm going to explain in this video the differences between the anime effects of these four Time Lords compared to their TCG counterparts. Now, the names, obviously, of these four are like different between the TCG and their counterparts from the anime. So, I'm gonna read to you each effect of both versions. The first one will be the anime version. Ratseon. In the TCG, it's named this card right here. As you can see right here, the names are a little different. Instead of the letter R, they put the letter L on the beginning. So the picture almost looks identical. The effect's almost the same. So here's the effect. Cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So basically this card, it can be targeted by card effects, but not destroyed by them. Just so you know. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, shuffle all cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck. Once per turn, if your opponent draws a card at any time, it's once per turn. Once per turn during the draw phase, they draw a card, they lose 1,000 life points. And once per turn during your standby phase, this card is returned to the owner's deck. So basically, the effect in the anime is basically the same. The only difference is it's like, it's not really much of a difference because basically the effect will only work in the draw phase of the opponent's turn. So it's not that bad. So that one's pretty good. Now we're going to go with this one right here. Now the difference between these two right here, they are the same, but like I said, instead of the letter Z, they put the letter S at the beginning. So I'm going to read the anime version of the effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involved in this face-up attack position card. So it's the same. If this card battles while your life points are lower than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. So basically, it's the same thing with the TCG effect, but it works at the end of the battle phase, not during the battle phase. So the difference between these two right here, the effects are, it's the effect of you gaining 4,000 life points. Your life points go back to 4,000 if they're lower than that, happens after the battle phase, not during the battle phase when it battled. It's at the end phase after this card attacked. And basically, the other effects, I don't need to explain it. You already know. I'm just going to explain the differences between the real effect, not the effect that returns the monster back to the owner's deck. This and that. So basically, the effect of this card is like the same, but the only difference is the effect is where when your life points are less than 4,000, your life points go back up to 4,000. That happens at the end of the damage step with the TCG version of the card. In the anime version of this card, it happens during the battle phase when it attacks. So, yeah. So that's the difference. Now, this one right here. The difference between these two cards right here, instead of the letter C in the beginning, they put the letter K on it. So now I'm going to explain the difference between its main effect with the TCGs. The TCG effect is when this card battles, you can select one monster to return to the owner's deck, and they lose 500 life points when that occurs. Well, this version is they return all monsters back to the owner's deck, and they lose 500 for each one. So I think the anime version's effect is a little more powerful than the TCG version. So that's kind of aggravating because, but the thing is with the TCG version is when this effect activates, basically when any of the Time Lord effects activated in the TCG versions, no cards can be activated in response to the activation. So you can't like effect veiler it, ghost ogre it, stuff like that. You just can't do it. It's one of the cards you cannot negate its effect. So it's kind of surprising. So now we'll do this one. So basically, this card is basically the same, but it happens after the battle phase ends, when it battles. It doesn't happen during the battle phase. So yeah. So this card's pretty good, like I said. And its other effect, its final effect, is not in the TCG version. Instead of you drawing until you have 5 cards in your hand, you draw only 1 card when it's returned back to your deck. So that's the only difference, basically. In the anime, you can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. In the TCG, you can only draw 1 card when it's returned. So this is not as broken as it seems to be. But it's still decent. The first effect still remains the same. It returns all spell and traps to the owner's hand at the end of the battle phase. Now, the other part in this video, I will explain in the third part, the second part. I mean, it will be discussing about these remaining Time Lords right here. I'll explain that in a separate video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me what you think. If the TCG effects of the Time Lords are better than the anime versions, or if the anime effect of the Time Lords are better than the TCG version of the effects of the Time Lords. So more videos coming soon. Later, guys.